Welcome back to the news at 10. Women have been encouraged to take full advantage of the various social safety nets of the federal government aimed at improving their economic well-being. The Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Aisha Al-Hassan, gave this admonition in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, during a women's sensitization and mobilization in the state on federal government's social protection program.
Your Excellencies,
Gender equality and the role of women in nation building have become a concern to policymakers. Apparently, that informed this mobilization and public sensitization of the fair agenda from across Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. Their deliberation is on the various initiatives and policies of the federal government and how the women folk can take advantage of such self-reliance.
when you talk about the Executive Council,
Asking for the cooperation of the state government, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Aisha Al-Hassani, promised the assistance of the federal government in overcoming barriers to the full economic development of women. To this end, the minister says the federal government has earmarked 1.6 billion naira for the National Women Empowerment Fund with no interest, no collateral.
For people that need more than 100,000. There's the portfolio, which we do in collaboration with the Bank of Industry. That one you can apply for any amount you want. We assess, the bank will assess, because not the ministry. The bank will assess and then give you the loan. You can find out more from my sister, the Commissioner for Women Affairs, on that program.
Host Governor Ibikunle Amosun also unveils some of his empowerment programs for women, admonishing them to take full advantage of the various government policies.
Which means in every of our local government and LCDA, we'll get 300 women and 200 men, making 500. So again, we will see what is happening. So if we are starting like that, it will mean that we are starting with 285 million. Now, when you will return that 285 million, you double it again to 570 million. When you will return the 570 million, you double it to 1 billion and 40, which is our ceiling. That is what we will do.
At the end of the day, the women are left with assurances of more government policies and programs that would translate to their economic prosperity.
Let's join Melina Kinami now for business news.
You first. First Bank.
A panel of research and economic analysts on Channels Television discussed the central bank's decision to retain all key monetary indicators. The head of research at AfriInvest, Mr. Robert Omotunde, says the decisions did not address the true situation of the forex market and is asking for a clearer policy. While the head of research at ARM Securities wants the CBN to increase FX supply to the manufacturing sector.
But the truth is that it is an open secret to everyone that what we have is not okay. For the first time, I think we are getting a clarification now that it's a managed floating that we run. You know, we are taught that we have moved to a flexible framework. We also said we run a flexible framework. So there are contradiction in terms that we are not really sure, you know, what the committee stands for. But what we know that is clear is that there are multiple rates in the system. You know, the parallel market rate and the spread that exists between the official and the parallel market continues to widen, and this has continued to pressure the market. For us, policy shifts towards a much more flexible framework, not just in the notion of saying that we run a flexible, you know, framework would have been something to excite. But I must confess that in this meeting, really, there is nothing to excite.
Given what has happened since the end of August, whereby it's almost sort of as if there's a hard peg on the currency, people are going to start asking that, wait, maybe it's not really a floating floating exchange rate regime. But to his comment about these special concessions for manufacturers, I think what we looked at last year, if you look at import contraction, particularly non-oil import contraction, most of it has come because driven by capital goods, less from sectors that you're trying to substitute away from. So really it's from things that we do not currently produce. And so if you're having import contraction coming from those, then it has implications for manufacturing GDP, also as well as also production as well, because what it means is you're going to get a lot of factory closed down. So what we think is that, look, at some point the central bank will have to improve FX supply to that segment.
Africa Finance Corporation says it has issued a 3-year $150 million Islamic bond through a private placement. The AFC has become the first African government-backed entity to sell an Islamic bond. According to the chief executive, Mr. Andrew Ali, the company receives a total subscription of $230 million for a sukuk initially planned at $100 million. AFC was set up by African governments and the private sector in 2007 to get investment for infrastructure across the continent. It has since invested more than $4 billion in 26 countries. Equities at the Nigerian Stock Exchange reversed the marginal gain recorded in the previous session with a widely negative market breadth as investors expect the bearish sentiment to move into Wednesday. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Markets Report. The Nigerian equities market slipped by 0.05%, while total market value still stands around 9.02 trillion naira at the close of Tuesday's trading session. The day's transactions also saw investors exchange a lower volume of 187.7 million shares worth over 10.42 billion naira in 3,055 deals. The most significantly traded stocks from that turnover were Seplat, United Capital and Transcorp. From a list of 13 gainers, UACN, Nigeria Police Microfinance Bank and Africa Prudential emerged in the top 3 category. On the other hand, 25 stocks dominated the losers table, led by 7up, Custodian and Allied Insurance and NTR. And that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Many thanks, Bisi. U.S. equities rose on Tuesday with the S&P 500 hitting record highs on the back of more executive orders from President Donald Trump. Let's see how the other world markets ended today. That's business news. Thank you so much for watching. It's back to you, Amarachi.
You first. First Bank.
MTN Nigeria, one of the country's leading telecommunications companies, has launched a new product with the sole purpose of thanking its long-standing customers. Under the newly introduced scheme, MTN Prestige, subscribers who have stayed with the brand for a minimum of 10 years and or spent a minimum monthly amount will enjoy network-based and non-network-based benefits.
It's an evening of relaxation and entertainment for friends, loyal customers and staff of MTN. While appreciating users of the MTN brand, the chairman of the telecoms giant, Mr. Pascal Dozier, explains the company's purpose for the night.
We place a premium on the fact that you have chosen us to continue to deliver solutions, products and services, all designed to make life easier and brighter for all of us. Tonight we unveil a brand new customers appreciation scheme, MTN Prestige.
And MTN says there's more to come.
I would like to say there's a lot more to come, and I think you need to keep your eyes and your ears open.
The Prestige card is launched in style.
1 and 0. All right.
And immediately after, cards are presented to some long-standing customers. The General Manager, Consumer Marketing, explains how MTN is admitting more customers into what it calls a circle of distinction.
We've done things in bits and pieces, trying to recognize them and thank them, and sometimes to reward them as well. But we thought it was important to have a platform where it's automatic that once you qualify, you begin to get those benefits that accrue to those who qualify in that platform.
In MTN's circle of distinction, bronze, silver, gold and platinum cards give customers benefits of call credits, data and free handsets, as well as discounts on flight costs, VIP lounges and luxury rides.
My body they shake well. Anytime you look my side.
Meanwhile, Z-Air Laptop, a new gadget from Asian-based manufacturer iLife Digital, has just been released into the Nigerian ICT space. At the unveiling ceremony of the product today, promoters and distributors of the cutting-edge technology showcased its features.
Z-Air Laptop is one of the slimmest gadgets by 16.2 millimeters and weighs only 1.53 kilograms. The gadget unveiled at this gathering has been introduced into the Nigerian market through the collaborative effort of Regentin and iLife.
The second product is the Z-Air Mini. Now the Z-Air Mini is just a smaller version of the Z-Air. It has a 10.6-inch screen, Intel Atom quad-core processor, 1.8 GHz speed.
What is very important from a customer standpoint is to be able to recognize and identify the pain points or the after-sales challenges that customer faces. In order to meet this challenge, we have close to about 400 different service locations across the 37 different markets that we operate.
Equipped with Intel quad-core 1.8 GHz processor and ideal for high performance and great energy efficiency, dealers say these features are tailored for the Nigerian consumer market.
This is a product that everyone should have, the professional, the entrepreneur, even the student. So we communicated across board without having to create some kind of ambiguity.
Given the size of the market and the opportunity that we see, we believe that a quality product of the nature of Z-Air from iLife is pretty much a need of the hour given the price range that the product falls and the kind of quality that the product comes with.
So it's a sleek looking device, nice aesthetics, it performs, it has performance, it is strong and it is affordable, which is what we need at this point in time in our country, Nigeria.
The flyweight laptop comes with a standard solid-state drive of up to 32 gigabytes and launches applications quicker and better.
The increasing rate of illegal migrants from Nigeria into various countries in Northern Africa and Europe has become an issue of concern to all countries involved. A worrisome consequence of this is the mistreatment and abuse of Nigerians, once identified as undocumented in various countries abroad. Our correspondent Ajuri Ngalale reports.
Hardship and struggle is the experience of many in the cavity of Nigeria's economic recession. But for some, it started a journey of unraveling. Desperate for survival, many head for unknown destinations through unknown routes, only to find conditions worse at the destination than conditions burdening at the origin, if the destination is ever seen at all.
A lot of blacks have been dumped into the water in the process of migration. Wherever Nigerians are trapped or are in trouble, this administration will do everything possible, as is being planned now, to get them out of that. But at the same time, our advice is not worth it.
Officials from the National Emergency Management Agency say 669 Nigerians were evacuated from Libya on chartered aircraft in 2016 alone by the federal government in rescue missions, with more operations to follow in the coming weeks.
The majority of these people, I must say, are from states of Delta and Edo, and they are usually between the ages of 16 and 22. Though there are times we had reason for infants. These infants are usually accompanied by their mother.
While challenging Nigerians to weather the storm at home where they are welcome, the presidential advisor says the current cash crunch does not shake the commitment of the federal government to prioritize the welfare of its people, both home and abroad. Ajuri Ngelale, Channels Television News.
Still ahead of the news at 10, Algeria coach Georgie Linkens resigns after the team's early exit from the Africa Nations Cup in Gabon. More coming up in sports news. Do join us again.